right, so I'm going to do it again. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Awesome, and that's the same energy that we would like for you to share with our students after their performances, because they need all of the encouragement they can get. It is my pleasure to welcome you here to the 17th annual Ralph Vines Public Speaking Competition. Is that not amazing? 17 years and still going strong, encouraging and uplifting young people, helping them to become their best selves in the way of public speaking, but also giving them a little financial incentive along the way. So we've got some great cash prizes in store this afternoon. I'll tell you more formally in just a moment, but before we get things kicked off, it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage our namesake, the name of this competition, Mr. Ralph Vines II. Would you please give him a warm round of applause?
I'm your host, and welcome to this is our 17th year of helping our students become effective and confident public speakers. This year we have 40 students representing 24 schools. When I say students, I'm referring to these young people over here. They look a lot like me. And I'm not referring to myself. I can only imagine the time, energy, and effort each of you have put into your speeches. Some of you will win prizes, but that's not the most important thing. Because I consider each and every single one of you winners. First, you got selected for this contest. We only select 1 out of 4 people. Second, you have courage, a tremendous amount of courage. Enough courage to come up here on this stage, say a speech from memory, in front of a total bunch of strangers. Most adults don't share the same courage you have. Therefore, I salute you and wish you the best. Thank you.
We want to thank Ralph again, and of course we would be remiss if we would not or did not acknowledge Ms. Addie Morris, or Dr. Addie Morris, who is his mom. They have been in the trenches for 17 years trying to make sure that our young people are having opportunities to shine and express themselves, but as you already heard him mention, that they become confident public speakers. So let's give Ralph and Dr. Morris another round of applause. This is going to be an exciting afternoon, and I don't know about you, but when Ralph says getting up in front of a bunch of people that you don't know makes me a little nervous. But students, we are all here as your cheerleaders, so you can look at us like your best friends, okay? We're here to support and uplift you, and you will do great. It's my pleasure to also share a little bit about our arrival here at the Clinton Center. It's a relationship that we established a couple of years ago when Dr. Morris happened to mention that she was involved with sponsoring a contest. She said it in front of a gentleman who said, wow, that's something that we want to be associated with, and he is connected to the Clinton Center. And so that is how we ended up here, and it almost looks like we are outgrowing our space. But it is an exciting problem to have. And on behalf of the Clinton Center, I'm going to take this opportunity to read a letter that was shared with us, if you don't mind. I have a lot of notes here. Here we go. To the participants, supporters, and organizers of the Ralph Fiennes Public Speaking Contest, on behalf of the University of Arkansas Clinton School of Public Service, it is an honor to welcome you to the Clinton Presidential Center for the 2026 Ralph Fiennes Public Speaking Contest. At the Clinton School, our mission is to bridge communication with public policy to create sustainable and impactful change. My own work focuses on democratic deliberation. This is the idea that when citizens engage in thoughtful, clear, and respectful dialogue, our entire society grows stronger. This is why the work being done here today by the Ralph D. Fiennes II Endowment and your participation in this contest is so important. To our contestants, today you are doing more than competing for a prize. You are developing the critical thinking skills, poise, and professionalism that are hallmarks of great leaders. By mastering your original speeches and sharing your perspectives on the social, economic, and industrial challenges of our time, you are finding your voice in the public arena. Mr. Fiennes' personal journey reminds us that the ability to communicate is a skill that can be built through hard work, practice, and determination. His commitment to the development of your skills and the endowment's selfless health service work in forgotten communities globally is a great example of ordinary people completing extraordinary public service. Whether you are 9 or 19, the grit you show by standing at this podium and on this dais today is the first step toward a lifetime of leadership. We are proud to support your growth as public speakers and the leaders of tomorrow. And we are excited to hear the ideas that you have to share. Good luck to all of the speakers. Your voices matter, and we are listening. Sincerely, Dr. Robert C. Richards, Jr., the Associate Professor and Director of the Open Governance Lab, UA Clinton School of Public Service. So let's give him a nice round of applause in his absence. Thanking the Clinton School of Public Service for their continued support. So ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce you to the judges and also to give the judges their instructions. If you don't mind, if you are here when I call your name, if you're comfortable, please stand. If not, if you want to give a wave, just so our judges, our audience knows who our judges are. And also, judges, we want you to know that your ribbon or button, I can't see, it's a lapel pin, I know that. It matches your folder, I'll get that right in a moment. All right, so our judges today are Ms. Loretta Alexander, Healthcare Policy and Administration retiree, Alice Armstrong, retired teacher, Amy Baker, Branch Manager, Regions Bank, Jolie Ballantyne, Associate Director of Mission at Hillsdale College in Michigan. Representative Rick Beck, an electrical engineer and former owner of Rossi Electric. He represents District 65 and serves on committees centered on energy, technology, and economic development. Edith Brown, Realtor and owner of Brown Realty and Company. Sharice Coates, minister and commercial voice artist. Pat Dean, retired teacher. Ernest Duckery, architect at Wittenberg, Deloney, and Davidson Architects. Cosley Edwards, attorney at law and veteran consultant. Dr. Edward Fryer, physician and researcher. Miguel Fintavilla, owner of Imprenta Printing. Sandra Armstrong, retired DHS administrator. Austin Hall, designer, Bloom and Hall Fashion. Linda Hall, retired engineer in Union Pacific. Tyrone Harris, real estate developer. Iverson Jackson, executive director of the Arkansas Fair Housing Commission. Jetta Johnson, property manager. Jason McGee, former congressional aide with a background in constituent services and policy support. Dr. Nicholas Murray, pharmacist at All Care Specialty Pharmacy. Dr. Nancy Reese, Dean of the College of Health and Behavioral Sciences, Health Science University of Central Arkansas. Angela Nelson, counselor. Alan Rogers, Vice President, Bancorp South. Lori Ross, founder and CEO of Clarify Consulting and Coaching. Carlos Sadler, insurance consultant. Dr. Jeff Standridge, co-founder of The Conductor and partner with Cadron Capital Partners. Dr. Lisa Todd, founder and CEO of Two Creeks Ranch Productions. Colonel Nathaniel Todd, member of the University of Arkansas Board of Trustees and retired Army Colonel. James Tyler, real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty. Angela Walker, retired teacher. Dr. Lisa Twiddley, duly employed at Children's Hospital and UAMS. Justice Barbara Webb, Associate Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court. Kenya Wilbert, author, mortician, and CEO, Soft Opening Funeral Home. Dr. Sam Weary, retired Mid-South USA analyst. Carlton Wing, CEO of Arkansas PBS and former Arkansas State Representative. Joseph Wood, chairman of the Republican Party and former judge. Did I miss any judges? If you don't mind standing, and then you can tell me your name so we can make sure we give you a public recognition. Retired educator, Ms. Ardelia Walker. Arlene Beamer, retired teacher. I'm repeating this so all of you can hear, okay? Pamela Powell, financial advisor. Would you please give our judges a nice round of applause? Thank you for donating your time to this very worthy cause, and we think you will believe it will be time well spent when it's all said and done. So it's my responsibility now to give the judges instructions. So if you would give me your undivided attention for just a moment, please, judges. Each judge is assigned to a specific age group identified by the color of the folder and the ribbon worn by the judge and the student. Judges will receive one score sheet for each student with the student's name located in the top right corner of each sheet. Students are evaluated on the following criteria: clarity, content, presentation, performance. The scoring scale ranges from 1 to 10 with the following breakdown, and you are asked, judges, to please score in whole numbers. 1 through 4, low; 5 through 7, medium; 8 through 9, good; with 10, of course, being excellent. Judges are directed to provide numerical scores exclusively. Please use the numbers, as I mentioned, whole numbers only. After each student completes their speech and the score sheets are filled out, judges should pass your score sheet to a host either to your right or left, who will be standing at the end of the aisle. It is very important that score sheets are filled out and collected by the host immediately after each group finishes their speeches. This ensures that results are ready as soon as the last group finishes their speeches. So judges, are we all clear on what our responsibilities are? That's the easy part. The hard part is after you hear all of these tremendously wonderful speeches, you're not going to know what to do. But That's on you, not on me. I'm just helping to navigate through the speakers, all right? So students, are you ready? Oh my goodness. And a hush fell upon the room. Students, are you ready? Awesome. If you get excited now when you get up here, it'll all go away, all right? So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first. Oh, I need to introduce you to Eric McKissick. I'm sorry. Okay. This is the gentleman you need to be watching, students. He is our timekeeper. And I will tell you your allotted time. You should know that already from your initial sign up, but I'll remind you of your allotted time for each category. Okay, you ready? I'm gonna shake it off. Come on, shake it off. You don't have to be shy, shake it off. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Our first speaker in the age of 9 to 12 category with 2 minutes, Mackenzie Enoch Noble.
Have you ever noticed how the school nurse has one answer for everything? Tiny paper cut, giant ice pack. Broken arm, same giant ice pack. Stomachache, yep, you guessed it, giant ice pack. Then they try to make it fancy, but no amount of Disney magic can fix a one-size-fits-all approach. My name is Mackenzie Enoch Noble, and I will be discussing the prescription for justice, a call to health equity. Fairness isn't always about giving everyone the exact same thing. That's called equality. If I hand a pair of size 10 shoes to everyone running a marathon, it will only be fair for those who wear that size. For everyone else, they're useless. True justice is about equity. It means understanding that things like zip code and income affect people differently. And then creating a system that works for each person. We've seen the cost of ignoring this before. During the Spanish flu, over 100 years ago, racism and limited access denied Black Americans proper care. Justice in healthcare means giving everyone what they truly need. And if you see a nurse, tell her Mackenzie said hi, and maybe ask for an ice pack upgrade.
All right, Miss Mackenzie Enoch Noble reminding us that it's not a one-size-fits-all. Very good, Mackenzie. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Kenzie Bagat.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kenzie Bagat, and I'd like to start today by asking a question. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like everyone stopped talking and just stared at you? Come on, I know we've all been through this. Or, let me guess, you probably changed your outfit at least 5 times before coming here today, as if you were preparing for 5 different occasions. No, just me? Okay, but seriously, why do we allow other people's opinions to control how we view ourselves? I constantly think that the popular girls are judging me about everything, to things I wear, how I talk, even how I laugh, making me think I'm doing something wrong, even when I'm not. This constant self-doubt always makes me think, wait, did I buy this because I like it or because everyone else does? And honestly, it's usually the second option. But why do people even feel this way? My guess is social media. Wherever you look online, you always see the exact same kind of people. The people with the perfect hair, perfect smiles, and look like they've had their life together since they were 3. Nobody's posting about how they tripped on air this morning or how they had the biggest voice crack in the middle of class. The truth is, though, through all these embarrassing moments that kept you awake all night, is that nobody actually noticed. And and anyone who did probably forgot about it 10 minutes later. Why? Because everyone is so focused on their own social image that they don't have time to realize whatever you're doing. So if nobody actually noticed, then what are we even afraid of? Wear what you like and say what you actually think, because the real risk isn't embarrassment but regret. Regretting that you spent so much time trying to be this fake version of yourself instead of just being you. In fact, one of our favorite authors, Dr. Seuss, spoke about this himself. He said, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and be your true self, because the world doesn't need another copycat. It needs you. Thank you.
All right, another fantastic job by Kinsey, reminding us to not be fake. Very good advice. Be yourself. Our next speaker is Shriyan Chudari.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shriyan Chudari, and today I want to talk about something powerful, something that can make some people laugh, something that can make some people feel strong and important. It's called bullying. At first, bullying might seem kind of cool. If you make fun of someone's shoes and your friends laugh, if you push someone in the hallway and people move out of your way, if you post a mean comment online and gets likes, for a moment, you feel powerful, you feel noticed, you feel in control. But let me ask you something. What if that laughter isn't happiness? What if that power isn't real strength? What if that cool moment is someone else's lifelong pain? Bullying does not end when school ends. It follows people home. It sits with them at dinner and it whispers to them at night, "You're not good enough, you don't belong." And sometimes, some of those whispers can last for years. Someone mocked for their height may start to hide in a crowd just to avoid being noticed. Someone mocked for their color or shape may spend years trying to change how they look just to feel accepted. But here's the truth. We all have the power to hurt and the power to heal, the power to laugh at someone and the power to lift someone up. So today, I challenge us all, including myself, to choose the power that builds, not breaks. Let's choose kindness, let's choose courage, let's choose caring for others. So today, I raise my voice to say, stop bullying in school. Thank you so much for your attention.
Boy, these young people are impressive, are they not? Mr. Shriyan Chudari, let's give him another round of applause. Our next speaker is Caden Ivory.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Although this is an iconic quote made by Neil Armstrong after he took his first steps in the moon in 1969, it is one that can be applied to many issues we are facing today. Good afternoon. My name is Caden Ivory, and I'd like to talk to you today about the alarming fact of carbon dioxide being released into our atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, is naturally found in our atmosphere and essential for plant life. However, when carbon dioxide is being released at a higher rate than plants can use, it causes a warming effect, which leads to extreme climate conditions like it being too cold in winter or too hot in the summer. This can also lead to the melting of ice glaciers. Did you know the leading source of CO2 produced by humans is the burning of fossil fuels? Neither did I. It is disheartening to believe that we are jeopardizing the quality of life on Earth. We should be taking steps to improve it, not harm it. One step we should take is planting more trees. Planting more trees means more CO2 can be converted into oxygen. Did you know that we have some manufacturers taking it upon themselves to help reduce the carbon emissions? The Green Bay Packaging Mill in Morrilton is currently constructing a new mill that will run off the electricity produced from the bark of trees they use. I definitely think this is the right step into the right direction. I want to thank you all for letting me speak up here today, to you today. And remember, the small steps you take now result in giant leap to a better future. Thank you.
Did y'all get that? Small steps you take today will do what? I want to see if you were listening. Okay, you did well. At this time, we're going to move on to our next speaker, Gracelyn Pruss. Please welcome Gracelyn.
Good afternoon. My name is Gryphon. I'm in 6th grade at Mama Middle School. I'm here to talk about something that affects every single person in this room, whether we admit it or not. That's mental health. In fact, studies say that over 60 million American families are affected by mental health issues every year. This leads us to ask, how can we stop that number from rising? We can do such by validating everyone's day-to-day struggles, expressing how we feel consistently, and creating safe environments for support without judgment or discrimination. When we learn to support these struggles, it reduces stigma, encourages early intervention, and fosters open, empathetic conversations. Say a family member had mental health issues. For instance, my father was diagnosed with depression and bipolar disorder, which sadly ended in him committing suicide, which of course affected me, but not just because of his passing, but because of the shame I will forever hold in myself for not being there to get him out of such a state. However, it should never be the child's responsibility to ever take care of the well-being of the adults in their life, because when that happens, it makes the child become the caregiver. And so when the child becomes the caregiver, it makes them put their parents' needs before their own safety or development, which can cause chronic stress, anxiety, and even depression. But it should not end there. Instead, we should seek help. When we seek help, it shows people that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to talk about it. So why are we so afraid to speak up? Thank you.
Great job, Gracelyn, reminding us about eliminating the stigma and the barriers associated with mental health. Thank you so much for sharing. Our next speaker is Olivia Yu.
One thing parents do is compare kids, often saying, "Why can't you be more like them?" It's a small question, but it carries a heavy weight. For some of us, it's the constant subtle pressure of being told, "You can do better." For me, it's the comparisons to other students, their grades, their trophies, their accomplishments. Every time I hear it, I wonder, why do I have to be like them? And I'll admit, there are days I wish I had what they had, the skills or knowledge that seem to come so easily to them. But imagine a world where everyone looked different, but they shared the same personality, same goals, same hobbies. That wouldn't be a community, because our differences are the only thing that makes us unique. When you are constantly measured against someone else's worth, you start to doubt yourself. You start to measure your worth to their accomplishments. Their success becomes your pressure. Their strengths become your insecurities. But instead of asking, how can I grow? We start asking, why am I not enough? The truth is, parents usually compare because they care. They want to be proud, and they want us to have every opportunity. But comparison doesn't always motivate. It often creates a shadow. It makes us feel like who we are right now just isn't enough to compete. But the reality is nobody's perfect. Not everyone is meant to be the top math student. Some of us are leaders, some are artists, some are musicians. Growth shouldn't mean trying to fit in and become someone else. It should mean trying to become a better version of yourself. So instead of asking, why can't I be like them? Start asking, what do I want to become? Because the first step in loving who you are is to accept who you are, even the parts you're still working on. Embrace your journey and believe in your potential. I don't want to be a copy of someone else. I want to be myself. And that should be enough, and it's exactly what the world needs. Thank you.
And great advice for some of us older people too, so thank you for sharing that. I hope you all are feeling inspired by what you're hearing today. These young people are so amazing. Our next speaker is Eleanor Barnett.
Hello everybody, my name is Eleanor Barnett and I'm a 4th grader at Fulbright Elementary. Today I want to talk about the importance of making sure that every kid knows that they matter. Even though we're all different, we all have something special to offer. For example, you may think someone is weird, but maybe, just maybe, they're the one you've always wanted to be. They could be the one who is good at art, math, or spelling, or good at writing short stories. You may think someone is the most popular, but maybe they're the nerd you never thought they were. Our differences make schools and classrooms more interesting. If we were all the same, it would be boring, even if we were all purple. Everything that makes each of us weird adds up to make schools a whole lot more interesting. Even if we think someone is weird, we should still treat them with kindness. If someone is shy or they feel left out, they won't want to talk out in class. Making sure every kid feels seen, special, and included will help them feel more comfortable in their classroom. Not only that, but when everyone feels comfortable, kids feel more relaxed and have more fun at recess. If you play with someone one day, even if they're different from you, you might just end up being best friends the next. In conclusion, I want to make sure that every kid knows that they matter, and we can all help make sure that that happens. Thank you.
A beautiful message, all kids matter. Thank you for sharing with us today. Our next speaker is Teddy Hopkinson. Please welcome Teddy.
Hello, my name is Teddy Hopkinson in 5th grade at Don Roberts Elementary. Are video games or real-life games more valuable? On the one hand, real-life games provide real-life interactions. Over game chat, you can't see the other players' faces, so you can't experience how they're feeling in the same way you can when you're talking with them face-to-face. Also, real-life games require problem-solving skills that you won't find in video games, meaning they're never just mindless shoot-'em-up games, but they actually involve figuring things out in real life. Furthermore, real-life games require a higher creativity standard. For instance, if you're building in Minecraft, then the limits are strictly those of the game. But if you're building with Legos, then the limits are only those of your imagination. Finally, video games are highly addictive, and if you spend too much time on them, it can be bad for both your physical and mental health. So it's good to get off your screens once in a while and play with something real. On the other hand, though, video games do have an upside. For instance, they can benefit your hand-to-eye coordination, making you better at guitar or piano. Also, they can benefit your social standing, especially if you're a kid, because most kids prefer to play video games, meaning you'll have something to talk about among your friends and your friend group will gradually increase. And finally, video games require less beginning skill, meaning you don't have to be really good at something to be able to play one, and the game will only get harder as your knowledge of it increases. Overall, in my opinion, I think that real-life games are better due to their providing real-life interactions, chances to express your problem-solving and creativity skills, and avoiding the risk of addiction. Based off of the information I've given you, what do you think? Thank you for your time and have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Teddy. Great job. Some of us probably still play video games, but we wouldn't want to admit it in this audience, would we? But didn't our students all do an incredible job? I'm always in awe, and I'm always thinking, one of these days they're going to take my job. That's okay. At any rate, judges, thank you so much for scoring. We're going to ask you to pass your scorecards, including Willow's, to the edge of the aisle to be picked up. And we will conclude the judging aspect for this category of 9 to 12-year-olds. Would you please give them a nice round of applause? Thank you. All right, students, I think you will be directed back to your seats. And then we will get the next group of 9 to 12 years old in the hot seat. They were amazing, and when they start saying their fourth grade, that just blows my mind, because I try to think back for when I was a fourth grader, which was some years ago, to see if I would have had the confidence. But this is where they are building those skills that they will be able to use. Their foundational, and they'll be able to use them throughout their careers, no matter which career they choose to pursue. All right, you guys ready? Yeah. Somebody on this side of the room is, but how about the folks on this side of the room? Are you guys ready? Yes. They're saying yes, get on with it. Stop prolonging the time. All right, we will. So this category, again, is 9 to 12 years old, judges, and they also have 2 minutes to present their speeches. Our first speaker is Loyal Williams.
What ICE is Doing to America by Loyal Williams. Western Hills, 5th grade. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, commonly known as ICE, has been around since March 1st, 2003, as part of Homeland Security, following the 9/11 attacks, making it a relatively young federal agency. If Americans wanted to go to Mexico, Germany, or Oklahoma, they could, but if Mexicans wanted to come to America, they couldn't. ICE is taking over America by going immigrants' homes without warrants and taking them off other public places. Approximately 4,000 kids have been deported by ICE's actions. ICE is killing innocent civilians with firearms and using tools like pepper ball guns, pepper spray, tasers, rubber bullets, and more. Approximately 6 to 8 people have died from ICE's actions. The Statue of Liberty represents democracy, international friendship, and freedom, but where is it? I pledge allegiance to your flag of the divided states of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice but for whom? I believe it's time for those who believe in treating people fairly and not to judge them for their race and skin color to oppose prejudiced actions. I am willing to spread the word and protest more. Are you willing to spread the word against ICE prejudiced actions? Thank you.
Bass in that voice. I guess you might be doing some broadcasting in your future career, but thank you very much for sharing your inspirational words. Our next speaker is Nora Vauser.
You might think that I'm just a student giving a speech. I haven't graduated high school and I don't have a degree in anything. But you know what I do have? I have a unique perspective. Good afternoon. My name is Nora Vosser and I'm in the 5th grade. Have you ever wanted to create a solution to a problem but thought you weren't ready or needed to be an expert first? Today, I want to tell you about 3 people who you wouldn't expect to create unique solutions to hard problems. Who do you think is most likely to create a solution to how ships navigate the world? A scientist or a clockmaker? In 1735, there was a cash prize to whoever could create a way for ships to safely navigate in storms. Everyone thought that an astronomer would have the answer, but no one could solve it except a clockmaker named John Harrison. He invented the first marine chronometer, which can tell a ship where it is anywhere in the world. Can a farmer create a TV? At 21, Philip T. Farnsworth created the first all-electronic television system. He was self-taught and sketched ideas for his high school teachers. One day, while plowing his field, he realized that a television image could be created by scanning electrons line by line, just like the rows in his field. Can an actress create a secret communication system? Even though Hedy Lamarr was most famous for her acting in movies, in 1942 she created a way for radio signals to be secret and untraceable during World War II. Her ideas and inventions eventually led to technology we use every day, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS. So next time you connect your headphones or need directions, you can thank Hedy Lamarr, an actress. There are many more true stories of people like John, Philo, and Hedy, who use their unique perspectives, creativity, and backgrounds to solve problems that continue to serve billions of people. Imagine the solutions we can create. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nora. That was a great advice to imagine, and we will. Thank you. Our next speaker is Angel Padilla.
Hello, my name is Angel Padilla. I'm a 6th grade student at Millville Middle School. Have you ever tried to act like someone else just to fit in? You've pretended to like a TV show your friends like? You've kept quiet because you were afraid someone would make fun of you? We've all been there and done that. We've also kept quiet because we were scared of what others might say. We all do it. But here's the secret. Being you is your superpower. When you try to be like everyone else, the world just ends up with another person, just like everyone else. When you're yourself, the world gets to experience a one-of-a-kind superpower. When you are kind, you can influence others to be kind. When you are creative, you can inspire someone else to create. When you have the courage to be yourself and dare to be different, you can give other people courage to be different. Imagine if no one was ever brave enough to be different. We won't have any new technologies, or new games, or new music, or new ideas. Someone has to decide to stand outside the box. Now, I want you to think about one thing about yourself that makes you different. Special. Did you think about it? That different is what makes you special and could be the thing the world needs. I know being yourself can be scary sometimes, but when you have the courage to walk through that door, confident in who you are, you can change your school, your community, and your world. So remember, you don't have to fit in to change the world. You don't have to be like everyone else to matter, because the world doesn't need another copy. It needs you. It needs your superpower. My name is Angel Padilla. Thank you.
Great job. You have to be cookie cutter. Great job, Angel Padilla. Our next speaker is Sarah Ivory.
Good afternoon, judges, teachers, and friends. My name is Sarah Ivory. Today I would love to talk to you about something small, but mighty, mannerisms. Mannerisms are the little things we do that makes a big difference. For example, smiling, standing tall, waving hello, or speaking kindly. They're tiny actions, but they can completely change how someone feels. I learned about mannerisms when I volunteered at a fancy event. At first, I was nervous. I thought, what if I say the wrong thing? But then, I remembered, manners aren't about being perfect. They're about being warm and welcoming. So, I took a deep breath, put on my friendliest attitude, and said, "Welcome, we're so happy you're here." And guess what? The audience faces lit up instantly. My little mannerisms were tiny superpowers. And guess what I saw? Adults using mannerisms too. They were shaking hands, making eye contact, listening politely. It reminded me that manners aren't old-fashioned. They're just ways of showing respect. So, you don't need fancy clothes or a special title to show good manners. All you need is a kind heart. Everyone can use their manners, adults and kids alike. So, what mannerisms are you going to use today? I encourage you to pick one and see all the positive reactions you get. I promise you won't be disappointed. Thank you.
Miss Ivory, Sarah Ivory, judges, did you get the message in the audience? What mannerisms are you going to display today? Thank you, Sarah, great job. Our next speaker is Arnie Sitteram-Reddy. And I apologize, Arnie. You can share the correct pronunciation of your name, because I'm sure I didn't do it justice.
Hi, my name is Arnie Sitteram-Reddy, and today I want to talk to you about something that we all use every day, but rarely think about, our attention. Think about what you do when you first wake up in the morning. I know for a lot of us, it's checking our phone. Not because we really need to, but because we've gotten used to it. Before we're even fully awake, something on the screen is already trying to pull us in. And that brings me to today's topic. All the apps on our devices are fighting for the same thing, our attention. And the more they get, the greater control they have. As the psychologist William James once said, we are what we pay attention to. Every interaction with an app has one goal, to keep us engaged. Apps do this by sending us notifications and showing us content we're likely to click on based on everything we've done before. And every time a notification hits our screens, our brains release a burst of dopamine, the chemical that makes things feel rewarding, which is why one tiny buzz can pull us away instantly. These strategies grab our attention and keep us scrolling without us even noticing. Behind the scenes, algorithms work tirelessly to learn what we like and keep us hooked. They analyze our behavior, predict what will catch our eye next, and serve up content tailored just for us, making it harder to look away. Once our attention is hooked, the more our attention gets pulled, the more these apps start creeping into our thoughts. And before you know it, we're thinking about them constantly. Over time, this can affect our choices, our routines, and eventually our daily life. Now, we can't stop technology from trying to steal our attention. That's not going away. But we can choose how we respond. We don't need to get rid of every app or delete our phones. We just need to take back control of our attention. Stay strong. Thank you.
Thank you, great job, Arnie. Stay strong, you guys. And stop scrolling the first thing when you wake up in the morning. I know some of us do it, don't we? Our next speaker is Lennox Thomas.
Good afternoon. My name is Lennox Thomas and I attend Chico Elementary. And today I will be talking about social media. How do you think social media affects our lives? Well, let me tell you. Kids used to play outside. They played double dutch, ride bikes for about 4 to 6 hours. They did even more stuff than just that until the first iPhone came out. Some kids are on it, but not all kids, because some of the parents did not let their kids get the iPhone. Well, did you know that Steve Jobs was the first one to invent the first iPhone, but 4 years after he invented the iPhone, he died? So sad, right? He invented it so people can see their families, take pictures, play music, and many other things. The benefits of social media is that you can connect with people all around the world. But these are ways how people communicate now. FaceTime, texting, video chat, and of course, social media. Social media people use Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and many others, which plays an important role in our everyday lives, to applying to jobs, staying in contact with friends and family, to even knowing everyday news. Social media is pretty important in our everyday lives. Now, how does social media benefit you? Thank you.
Great job. Yes, thank you. And that, you heard messages about social media twice, so it might be a message trying to tell you something, right? Trying to tell all of us something. Thank you again, you did a great job. Our next speaker is Ella Liu.
Good afternoon, my name is Ella Liu and I go to Pinnacle View Middle School. And my topic is the central contribution of Asian immigrants to Arkansas. I bet many of you guys have watched the Oscars recently, and if you really think about it, you might recall an award-winning movie called K-pop Demon Hunters. And this is just one of the ways Asian immigrants make a huge impact on the U.S. But today, I would like to specifically talk about how Asian immigrants make an impact on Arkansas. First, Asian immigrants help fill jobs that have gaps. There are many jobs such as construction, healthcare, etc. But in this example, I'm going to use healthcare, and there's often shortages, so Asian immigrants can come in so people get the care they need. And studies have shown that over 5% of healthcare workers are Asian immigrants. Second, Asian immigrants help support the economy. Asian immigrants make up 32% of overall immigrants, and have high impact areas such as 8% of entrepreneurs, 13% of manufacturers, and over 10% of STEM workers are all Asian immigrants. This shows they're not only working hard at their jobs, but they're also creating new jobs and opportunities for other people. And I bet some of your favorite restaurants, sushi places, hibachi places are likely opened by an Asian immigrant. Third, Asian immigrants help bring cultural diversity to Arkansas, making it more vibrant. There's festivals like the Cherry Blossom Festival happening in Hot Springs, Arkansas right now, and next weekend there's going to be the Lantern Festival in Little Rock, which are both examples of ways of the Asian community coming together to help share their ideas, traditions, and perspectives to people in Arkansas. This way, they're making Arkansas a more beautiful and thriving home for everyone. But most importantly, Asian immigrants do not compete or replace Native Arkansans. Instead, they work together, making Arkansas a stronger and beautiful place. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ella, for reminding us about the importance of diversity. Our next speaker is Eva Foster.
Hello everyone, my name is Eva Foster and I represent Fulbright Elementary. This is titled My Amazing Family. Today I want to talk about something very important to me. My family is the biggest cheering squad. They are always there for me and give me a safe place to go when things get hard. They teach me to be kind, to work hard, and to always be honest. My parents are the best parents in the world. They take care of me and make sure I have everything I need. They love me no matter what, and that makes me feel safe, happy, and special. I have a brother. His name is SJ. He makes me smile, and I love to play with him. He teaches me patience, kindness, and to always be myself. My mother is not just my parent. She is my biggest motivation. She always supports me and wants the best for me and my brother. My dad is just as amazing. He is the funniest man I know and challenges me to think outside the box and how to be a better person. As you can see, my family makes me feel loved every single day, and I am so thankful for them. And I know that no matter what happens, my family will always be there for me. Thank you for listening.
Well, that wasn't a tearjerker. Oh my goodness. I don't know where the family is in the room, but I hope you feel loved. What a tribute. I'm not looking your way. You're going Okay, thank you very much. Beautiful, beautiful presentation. All right, we have our last speaker in this category, Raya Sandeep. Please welcome Raya. Rhea, my apologies.
Think of one thing that you are remarkably bad at. For me, it's hula hooping. I look like a very uncoordinated, very confused penguin. I used to tell myself, I'm just not an athlete. I had built a wall around my potential. But then, I discovered 2 words that acted like a hammer to that wall. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rhea Santi. And today, I'll be sharing 2 words with the biggest impact on your life. Yet and now. We all live in a world obsessed with instant results. Whenever we don't master a skill by, let's say, next Tuesday, we say negative things to ourselves like, I can't do this or I'm not good enough. These aren't just sentences, they are life sentences. But when we add the word yet to these sentences, it picks the lock. I don't understand this yet. Suddenly, a dead end becomes a work in progress. Even J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 different publishers. She wasn't a failed writer, she just wasn't published. Yet. While yet helps us grow, now helps us survive. Most of us are yes people, saying yes to unnecessary pressure just to please others. We think no is a wall, but it's actually a shield. When we say no to distractions, we're saying yes to our goals. And a no delivered with kindness is a superpower. It tells the world, this is who I am and this is where I stand. So the next time you're facing a mountain, use yet to keep climbing. Or the next time someone pulls you off your path, use no to keep your footing. Because the world isn't finished with us. Yet. Thank you.
Thank you again, Rhea Sandeep, judges. Don't forget that important word to add to your vocabulary today, yet. Those are all of our 9 to 12-year-old contestants. Would you please give them a collective round of applause? They did an awesome job. So we are now moving on to our older speakers, the 13 to 15-year category. They actually have a little bit longer. They have 2.5 minutes to speak. Our first speaker is Ayman Ali.
Some say to be grateful in life, you have to climb Mount Everest, wrestle a lion, and write a best-selling novel all before breakfast. Me, I'm just grateful I didn't spill my cereal this morning. Good afternoon. My name is Ayman Ali. So what if I told you there's a simple habit that could change your life, and it's completely free? That habit is gratitude. Most people wait for the big moments to feel thankful. Birthdays, holidays, winning something big. But the real power of gratitude comes when you're thankful for the small things that matter. The small things that we usually ignore. The friend who sits next to you. The teacher who explains it more than one time. The fact that you wake up every single day with another chance. I remember one day sitting in my room feeling overwhelmed. School felt stressful. I thought about everything I didn't have, everything I wished was different. The more I thought about it, the worse I felt. That was until my little sister, Mira, walked in. She didn't say anything important. She just asked if I wanted to watch something with her. It was such a small moment, but in that moment, I realized something. Even in my darkest moment, someone still chose me. When you start noticing small things like this, your whole mindset changes. Gratitude also brings people closer. Think about the last time someone genuinely said, thank you. It felt good, right? Appreciation makes people feel seen. It strengthens relationships. It builds trust. And here's something powerful. Gratitude helps you grow. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, you stop complaining and start improving. You become more aware of the opportunities around you. And here's the best part. Gratitude is free. It doesn't cost money. It doesn't require talent. Anyone can use it. When you show appreciation, it inspires others to do the same. One act of gratitude can create a chain reaction of positivity. So today, I challenge you. Be grateful for the small things. Tell someone you appreciate them. Choose gratitude even when it's hard. Because gratitude isn't just saying thank you. It's a strength. It's a mindset and has the power to change your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ali, reminding us about the power of gratitude. Please welcome now Vadika Ravishankar.
Imagine working just as hard as a person sitting next to you in class, earning the same degree, landing the same job, but still being paid less. Not because of your talent, not because of your effort, but just because you were a woman. My name is Vedika Ravishankar, and today I'll be speaking about the wage gap and our differences. In the United States, women earn 81 cents for every dollar earned by men. And 2026 is the first consecutive widening of the wage gap since the 1960s. This wage gap isn't a coincidence. It is the result of generations of cultural expectations that have defined where women belong, and more importantly, where they don't. So today, I want to talk to you about two important scientists. Ada Lovelace, one of the first computer programmers, was dismissed in her time. For centuries, women have been seen as caretakers, not innovators. Scientists like Rosalind Franklin, who played an important part in discovering the structure of DNA, was dismissed because of her work was overridden by someone who was a male.
Okay, you can do better than that. Let's give her some encouragement. Our next speaker is Katie Ann Fugaro. I got that totally wrong. Anyway, we'll let Katie tell you her last name. Thank you, Katie.
And today I'm going to be telling you about how inflation has affected millions of Americans. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you went to the store? You probably looked around the aisles before you pulled your list out of your pocket and started shopping for your groceries. Then you see a price tag. You think to yourself, $5 for that? Well, you're not alone. That feeling has a name. It's called sticker shock. And according to a recent poll done by the U.S. World and News Report, sticker shock is something that over 86% of Americans experience. But it's not just a shock here. It's a growing problem that's affecting how millions of Americans live, work, and survive. Today, I'm going to be telling you of how inflation affects millions of Americans and why it actually matters. In the past 5 years, we've been seeing a higher rate of inflation than we've seen since the early 1980s. Inflation has caused prices on groceries and household items to rise nearly 30% in the last 5 years. Now, let's look at some rates of inflation from the past. From 2000 to 2020, inflation caused prices to rise 55%. Comparing that to 2020 to 2025, inflation has caused prices to rise 25%. Now, that's a 30% increase difference comparing 20 years to 5 years. While prices are rising fast, wages aren't keeping up. Let's compare the past to today. In 2000, minimum wage was $5.15. Your average family home was about $150,000 to $200,000, and groceries for a week would cost you $100 to $150. Comparing that to 2025, minimum wage has only gone up by about $2.10. Your average family home is now $400,000, and groceries are now $300 a week. We see that prices have nearly doubled, but minimum wage has barely moved. Now, why is this an issue? Because it's causing millions of families to have to choose between necessities or keeping the lights on. This is an issue because it's causing millions of Americans to have to choose between necessities or wants. Now, millions of Americans are having to work multiple jobs just to keep their lights on. Because of this, millions of Americans are not having good educations, and it's compromising their futures. When people can't afford a stable environment, good education, or care about their health, then that means that it's going to affect their futures. In conclusion, inflation has affected the world around us because it's caused prices and the world to go out of control. Thank you.
All right, Miss Katie Ann, and I'm not going to attempt to say your last name until I have a private conversation with you so I can make sure I get it right. All right, is Miss Vedika ready to come back? Are you coming back? Okay, come on back. Let's give her
Imagine working just as hard as the person sitting next to you in class, earning the same degree, landing the same job, but still being paid less. Not because of your talents, not because of your effort, but just because you are a woman. In the United States, women earn 81 cents for every dollar earned by men. And 2026 is the first consecutive widening of the wage gap since the 1960s. Excuse me for a minute.
That I'm going to forget the lyrics to the national anthem. So it happens to us all. But let's give her another round of applause. And we want her to know that we support her no matter what, and she will be able to come back next year, okay? Our next speaker is Kenya Williams.
Hi, my name is Kanaya Williams. What I wanted to talk about is intimate partner violence and how being in that type of relationship can lead to the other violences. Many relationships start with love and affection, yet for far too many people, these relationships can start to transform into fear, control, and harm. This is known as intimate partner violence, or IPV. IPV is a serious, widespread issue that affects individuals of all ages, genders, race, and background. IPV refers to any behavior within an intimate relationship that causes physical, psychological, or sexual harm. IPV occurs in dating relationships, cohabitating partnerships, or marriages. Also, it often escalates over time if left unaddressed. Some examples of IPV is physical, that is hitting, pushing, or use of weapons. Emotional, that is insults, humiliation, and manipulation. Sexual, being touched when you don't want to be. Financial is when your partner is restricting access to money, sabotaging employment, or controlling how you spend your money. And digital is use of technology to harass or monitor someone. By recognizing these warning signs and challenging harmful norms, by supporting survivors, we can work towards a future where intimate relationships are built on respect, equality, and safety. Thank you.
Great job. Our next speaker is Payson Butler.
How can we fix class division based on personal taste? This is what Pierre Bourdieu said to answer. Who is Pierre Bourdieu? He's a French philosopher who believed that personal taste is dependent on the environments by which we're raised. In this way, we're able to distinguish ourselves from others to others based on our social and economic standing. Now, this can be simple stuff like an affinity for expensive coffees or overpriced lattes that we use to distinguish ourselves from others who can't afford such luxuries on a weekly to monthly basis. But sadly, this can also be detrimental. If we think about a child born into luxury versus a child born into poverty, the child born into poverty is just as intelligent and just as capable as the child born into luxury, but he won't be given the same opportunities, not only because of economic standing, but also because his views on art and literature and music are seen as less sophisticated than the child born into luxury. If we think about rap music versus classical music, most of the time classical music is seen as more sophisticated and superior to rap music. But if we actually think about it, when you demean the art of rap music, you demean all art. You can't hold up one form of art and push down another. That's not how it works. But who even decides what's sophisticated and what's not? The upper classes decide what's sophisticated and what's not. In this way, they're able to move the class barrier far enough out of reach of lower class individuals that they'll never be able to cross it. How can we actually work to change this? We can actually work to change this by making museum entry or orchestra entry free or even low cost to students. We can also have our schools teach more about different kinds of culture and music and history and art. In this way, students are able to learn not what they're told to like based on their economic standing, but what they actually enjoy and are interested in.
Thank you, Pearson. Great job, great job. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is Chase Field.
According to research, the average teen spends over 7 hours online. That's way more hours than they take to sleep, let alone talk with their family. That's crazy, isn't it? That's what I'm here to talk about today. My name is Chase Field, and I'm going to be talking about social media and its effects on teenagers. Just real quick, could you raise your hand if you used your phone in the last hour? Now, could you keep it up if it was for social media? Just me? But that's the thing about social media. Social media has become such a big part of everyday life, especially for teenagers. Most teens nowadays spend several hours a day on apps like Instagram and TikTok, like myself. These apps allow people to share photos, videos, and moments of their lives with friends and followers. For a lot of people, it's one of the main ways that they communicate and stay updated on what others are doing. It's become such a normal part of daily life that people check it without even thinking about it. While social media can be fun and entertaining, it can also affect mental health worse than you may realize. One reason is that people only post the best parts of their lives. They don't post their day-to-day struggles or anything negative as such. Because of this, others may start to compare themselves to what they see online. When they see the perfect image or cool, fun, exciting lifestyles, they may feel like their life isn't as interesting. And that's where it can get grim. This can sometimes lead to feeling of stress, insecurity, and anxiety. Teenagers may start to feel pressure to get a lot of likes and followers, and when they don't receive that, it can affect their confidence and self-esteem. So what's a good thing about social media? Well, there's plenty of good things about social media. Social media can help you stay connected with family and friends, especially if they live far away. It can also help you find your people, like your community, like similar interests, hobbies, lifestyles, etc. So basically what I'm trying to get at with this whole thing here is that social media has good and bad sides. You just have to find the middle of it, balance it correctly. Which is why it's crucial, very, very crucial, that you balance it in a healthy way that's good for you and the people that you communicate. And don't let it control you. So I'm going to leave you off with this and ask yourself this tonight. Are you using social media or social media using you? Thank you.
Mic drop moment. I feel like I've been at a TED Talk. Anybody know what TED Talks are? Okay. Great job, sir. We appreciate your enlightening message about not letting social media use us. Our next speaker is Ayana Horton. Please welcome.
Let's start with a quick challenge. Think about what Shein, Temu, and Fashion Nova all have in common. These brands are what we call fast fashion, a business model of rapidly producing cheap clothing to mimic current trends. I think we can all agree we love a good deal. Whether that be a play this game to win 70% off your order ad, or having to refer a million different people just to get a discount. Good afternoon. My name is Ayana Horton, and I'm a freshman at Sylvan Hills Junior High. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever considered the true cost of the cool new t-shirt you want? Well, picture this. You're a young girl trying to make ends meet, slaving away at the garment factory. Word is going around that your factory is having major structural problems, but your boss keeps threatening you to show up. One day, you go into work and the building collapses on you. That was the story of the many 1,134 people whose lives were taken in the 2013 Rana Plaza factory incident in Bangladesh. Due to the industry's negligence towards staff, innocent lives were lost. According to many labor rights groups, such as the Clean Clothes Campaign, less than 2% of garment workers worldwide earn a living wage. If that isn't enough, UNICEF estimates more than 100 million children are affected by the garment and footwear supply chain globally. Prioritizing rapid production over human lives is just sickening, especially lives that have so many years and opportunities ahead of them. Trends fuel this fire. For example, if you don't keep up with the latest trends, you're weird or different. People often buy products just to fit in and not because they actually like them. The loss of individuality and creativity due to this problem is just sad. Not only does this issue affect people, but also our environment. Dyeing and finishing are responsible for 3% of global CO2 emissions and 20% of global water pollution. We often why our environment is getting worse, but rarely realize it's sitting in our closets. So next time you click the checkout button, I hope you're reminded of the true cost of the cool new t-shirt you want, because it's not just money, it's people's lives, futures, and environments. Thank you.
Great job, Miss Horton. And a timely message, too. I love how how passionate these young people are about their topics, and I hope we're all going home a little bit smarter as a result of hearing from them today. Our next speaker is Daniela Garcia. Daniela Garcia.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Daniela Garcia, and this is A Future Chosen Too Soon. Now, I have a question for you all. What do you consider to be good enough? Is it a 4.0 GPA, 10 AP classes, 100 hours of volunteer service, or doing college-level research before you've even graduated high school, while still being a teenager? Because lately, it feels like that's what's expected of us. Personally, I spend so much time worrying about my future that I forget to live in the present. I'm constantly worried about my grades, my GPA, my extracurriculars. So much so that today's my birthday and I'm up here giving a speech. This is the reality for so many teenagers, and social media doesn't help at all. The second you open your phone, you're bombarded by people doing more than you, more achievements, more success, and suddenly everything you've done feels like it's not enough when compared to their success. At the age where we should be discovering who we are, exploring our interests, making mistakes, and growing, instead, we're consumed by our entire future. And adults love to say, you can always change your path later, but can you really? Changing your major can cost thousands of dollars. It can lead to years of stress, pressure, and debt. So much so that you feel stuck in a pathway you chose at 15. At an age where you weren't old enough to drink, smoke, and you couldn't even watch an R-rated movie alone. So maybe this isn't just about our future. It's about the present, about living the moment, about being an adolescent and enjoying our childhood. Because no one deserves to be burdened by a future they chose at 15. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Daniela, and happy birthday. A great way to spend your birthday amongst other young people. Our next speaker is Kinsley Bagley.
When people talk about the American dream, they usually picture a stable home, a successful career, and children who grow up safe and loved. But growing up, I learned that for women, that dream comes with an unfair cost. My mom had a job she loved. She was ambitious, successful, and proud of her work. Even with a present partner at home, schedules were inflexible, childcare was expensive, and someone had to take on the daily challenges of family and home life. That someone ended up being my mom, and she had to quit her job. As women, we are expected to pursue careers with the same commitment as men, all while still balancing the invisible load of family and home, turning the dream into an unattainable feat. Contrary to popular belief, it is not just chores. It is the mental labor of anticipating everyone else's needs above your own. Even in households where both partners work full-time, women do significantly more housework and childcare. Having this constant responsibility leads to drastic burnout and declining mental health. When women decide to leave the workforce, the economic penalties last a lifetime. We like to call this the motherhood penalty. While men's wages often are rewarded after having children, women's wages stagnate or decline. Over time, these losses compound, leading to lower retirement savings and long-term financial vulnerability. And despite having fought for women's rights since 1848, equal pay still isn't a reality. Workplaces remain inflexible, designed as if family and home falls on the shoulders of somebody else, and that somebody else is almost always a woman. All of this brings me back to my mom. She didn't leave her job because she lacked ambition. She left her job because the invisible load was too heavy. More often than not, young girls will watch this status quo. And if we want them to experience the true American dream, we need to stop calling this imbalance normal and start changing the structures that demand it. Thank you so much.
Great job, great job. We have one final speaker, This is Christina Shelby, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everyone, my name is Christina Shelby, and today I'll be talking about the downsides of AI. I know we've all have used AI from time to time. Me personally, I know I have, which is kind of ironic considering I'm talking about why we shouldn't use AI. But never mind that. Usually I only use AI for my math to science questions, which it'll give me the answer, but it won't really help me understand why it's that answer. And while people say AI is more efficient, it's actually slowing down the cell in our brains. Imagine if you're using AI for, let's say, homework or math. It'll give you the answer, but what have you actually learned from it? You haven't learned anything, considering you just copy and pasting down answers from AI because it told you it was right. And even so, even if that wasn't the problem, AI could replace a lot of jobs, considering that mostly we use AI for everything. It could replace about 300 million jobs, considering that it could replace 300 million jobs. Even though we don't consider that, even when we use AI, that could still be a problem. And I know my parents or anybody around me won't want to lose their jobs to a robot. Imagine you're just sitting on the couch and you get a call from AI saying, "Oh, well, you're fired." I would be mad, but that's just me. And even so, AI can affect our minds if all we're doing is using AI just to get an answer. Imagine you have a test. You can't use AI on that test. So when you make a bad grade, the only person you can blame is yourself, because AI isn't real. So now that I'm wrapping up my speech, I want you to ask yourself a question. Would you still use AI after what I told you? Or would you or would you not use AI?
Thank you, Christina. And I don't want AI taking my job. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a collective round of applause for our 13 exceptional students. Great job, everyone. We are now at our final category this afternoon of 16 to 19-year-old students who have approximately 3 minutes each available to speak. Our first speaker is Olivia Evett.
Hello everybody, my name is Olivia Evett and I'm a senior at Malvern High School. And today I want to talk to y'all about a term called a childlike faith. Now if you're willing and able, will you please everybody stand up for me for just a minute? Alrighty. So everybody stand up. And then on the count of 3, I need everybody to give me their best woo, yell, holler, whatever it may be. We're the home of the Razorbacks, so I expect greatness. Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank y'all. Y'all can go ahead and sit down for me today. Thank y'all, that's amazing. Alrighty, did you notice, y'all may not have, the kids got up quicker, they shouted louder, and they went a little bit longer. Why is that? We live in a culture that makes us so focused on how we are perceived, how we view ourselves and how we view other people, more than how we actually feel about what we want to do, not how other people see us. But kids, they don't live in this fear or anxiety, and that's what I mean when I say a childlike faith. A faith that assumes you won't be judged, a faith that isn't scared, a faith that isn't intentional but so beautifully exists amongst every single one of them. I'm 18 years old, I'm applying to colleges and scholarships, and they have shown me that they don't really care who I am, they care what I look like on a piece of paper. But there's a 7-year-old inside of me that can't help but do a little dance when food comes out of the oven, and I don't think I'm the only one in that. Every single one of us has a 7-year-old inside of us that doesn't care what people think. A 15-year-old who started to, an 18-year-old who realized your future suddenly matters, and a 30-year-old who realized maybe I didn't have it all figured out. So this faith, it's not existing amongst fear, and this faith, it's not being immature, it's not ignoring all responsibilities, but it's choosing on purpose to live with less fear on what others think of you. And I believe that if we spent a little bit less time about how we're perceived and a little bit more time of how we're present, we would enjoy that so, so much more. And that's modeled so beautifully by the kids of the future. And I will say that this fear, although it's amongst all of us, we're all capable for more. And this fear that isn't this faith that isn't filtered by fear, it's not childish, it's rare. And I believe that if every single one of us could do that, the most mature thing would be to hold on to our childlike faith. Thank you.
Wow, very impressive. Thank you very much, Olivia Evett. Great job. Our next speaker is Dara Mahida.
It is said that conversations are meant to bring people together, but they tend to do the opposite. Instead of understanding one another, we argue. Instead of listening, we wait for our turn to speak. And I've noticed this personally, be that in classrooms, online, or politically. It feels like simple conversations are turning into arguments. It feels like each discussion has something to win or to lose. Hi, my name is Dara Mahida, and today I'll be talking about something we often forget, the importance of civil discourse. Now, let me take you guys back to a moment I remember very vividly. I was in a group discussion in class, and what started off as a simple conversation quickly became an argument. Instead of understanding one another, we argued, voices got louder, everyone talked over each other, and no one ended up really tuning in. But later, as we all understood each other, all reevaluated, and came to terms, we understood that it was not about winning, it was not about proving who's right, but it was about understanding, lifting each other up. And that's what civil discourse is supposed to be about. Not showing off your skills, but getting in a group and understanding one another. But what if that doesn't happen? We see it all the time. Be that in social relationships, in families. We see that friends and relationships, it comes to a halt and families avoid topics altogether. Studies prove that conversations are supposed to help you build and supposed to be helpful, often feel stressful and personal, instead of opportunities to build from. Now, I want to tell you one thing. Conversations are, you don't always have to agree. You don't always have to say yes to the other person. But you do have to understand, show respect. Because when you do, that's when you learn. That's when your true potential comes out, when you're respecting others. Because democracy depends on discussions. Because if you have discussions, you have new perspectives and inputs. And because of that, you can build. So, my message for everyone here today is stand by what you say and speak your mind. But always leave room to listen. Always leave room to show respect. Because when we do, great things happen. We build relationships, we build new things, and we learn. Thank you.
These speakers, I tell you what, they are so impressive. Our next speaker is Lucy Lewis.
Good afternoon. My name is Lucy Lewis, and I'll be talking to you about something that is vital to every generation: education in Arkansas. Whether you live in a city, on a farm, or in a suburb, education shapes our lives, our families, and our futures. Here in Arkansas, our system begins with early childhood programs, continues to K through 12, and advances to college or technical training. Each level is like a step on a staircase, and if just one step is weak, the entire climb becomes steeper for the rest of the way. But right now, too many of our steps are shaky, especially because of costs. Consider this. Across the U.S., adults with a 4-year college degree earn about 60% more than those with only a high school diploma. But did you know that Arkansas ranks 47 out of only 50 states in the college graduation rate? This statistic reflects how far our kids are behind, especially because we can't afford to finish. But the foundation of learning starts much earlier. Children without access to strong early learning are less likely to read on grade level by the 3rd grade, making them 4 times more likely to drop out of high school. The hopeful news is that Arkansas is acting. Programs like the Arkansas Future Grant and workforce training initiatives help students prepare for college while teaching them about the importance of education. College affordability adds yet another obstacle. Costs of schools have risen faster than wages, leaving students struggling under the costs of tuition, housing, and student debt. Education affects all of us, even if we're not in the classroom right now. When more Arkansans complete education, crime decreases, businesses grow, and economies thrive. So when we invest in early learning, we're strengthening the entire state. So imagine Arkansas, where every child gets quality early education, every student feels supported, and every adult can advance without being crushed by debt. But this Arkansas is within reach. If we understand that education is not a luxury, but a right, not a single step, but a shared climb, and not an individual achievement, but a shared responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lucy Lewis. Our next speaker is Haritha Kumarasan.
The average American takes about 6 photos per day, totaling to around 180 photos per month. But here's what's strange. Out of everything that I captured last month, my most vivid memory is one I didn't photograph. A beautifully remarkable Arkansas pink sunset. I can still describe to you in detail about all the shades of pink that were in the sky that night, how the temperature shifted, and how gorgeous the sunset was as a whole. Hi, my name is Haritha Kumarasan, and today I'm here to talk to you about why we're missing out on our lives because we're too busy capturing them. In 2013, psychologist Linda Henkel ran an experiment at a museum. One group photographed the art, while the other group simply observed it. She then tested their memory the next day. It was shown that the group who photographed the art remembered significantly less compared to the other group that didn't. This term was coined as the photo-taking impairment effect. It explains how when we photograph something, our brains stop encoding the memory and instead outsources the memory. But this isn't just about individual memory alone. This is about how an entire generation is being trained to put content first and experiences second. But memory formation studies rooted in neuroscience go to show that our brains encode memories most vividly when we're fully present within the moment, rather than just as an observer. But social media literally trains us to do the opposite of this. Instead, we're shaped and told to perceive and perform our lives for an invisible audience rather than inhabit it. And when we talk about the fear of missing out, we talk about it in the context of missing out on parties or hangouts or trips. But this is where I think we have it backwards. Instead, we're missing out on our own lives. And the scale of this is staggering. The National Institute of Mental Health reports that 31.9% of adolescents now have an anxiety disorder. That's 1 in 3 of us. And this is, while social media isn't the sole cause of it, it's feeding into something toxic. The idea that life exists somewhere else. And because of this, we perceive life as something that only exists within someone's perfectly curated highlight reel. But here is where we're going wrong. Instead, I want you to remember that the memories that matter the most, the ones that we'll remember in most detail from now, are the ones where we're fully present in our lives. And the pink skies will always be there, and it's our choice to look up now. Thank you.
Great job, Haritha. Thank you so much. And we are now at the final speaker of the hour. Can you believe that? No pressure, Riley. Please welcome Miss Riley Spriggs.
Good afternoon. My name is Riley Spriggs. I'm a junior from Parkview Magnet High School. I want to talk about something that a lot of us feel but don't always say out loud. My topic is high school socialization, and my speech is called Choosing Yourself. Did you know that 1 in 3 high school students feel persistent sadness or hopelessness? Over 40% feel anxious most of the time, and nearly 60% feel as if they truly don't belong in school. That's a lot. Now imagine living with it all at once. For me, that's not hard to imagine. I transferred schools in the middle of high school, not because I had to, but because I didn't feel seen, included, or accepted. I thought changing schools would fix everything. New people, new environment, new chance to belong. But I had to learn something the hard way. Changing your environment doesn't automatically change how people see you or how you see yourself. On the outside, I look like I have it together. I'm a straight-A student, I stay out of trouble, people say I'm confident. But what they don't see is the anxiety before I walk into a room or the overthinking after every conversation. Did I say something wrong? Did I say too much? Will they still like me? And when you want to be accepted so badly, you start becoming someone who you think people will like, until you don't even recognize yourself anymore. I laughed when things weren't funny. I stayed quiet when I should have spoken up. I stayed in spaces that didn't feel right just to avoid being alone. But here's what I've learned. Loneliness doesn't come from being alone. It comes from being around people that don't really see you. So I started asking myself a different question. Not, do they like me? But, do I like who I am around them? And that question changed everything. Because being pretty doesn't erase insecurity. Being kind doesn't guarantee kindness back. But knowing your worth, that changes everything. So if you're struggling like I was, remember this. Pay attention to how people make you feel. Give yourself permission to be alone. Speak kindly to yourself. And don't be afraid to ask for help. I'm still learning. I still get anxious. I still have moments where I want to be chosen. But I've realized something important. Not everyone will choose me, and that's okay, because the right people won't require me to perform. They won't make me question my worth. They'll see me for who I really am. And until then, I'll choose myself every single time. Thank you.
Now, we have heard some powerful speeches today. That was Riley Spriggs, ladies and gentlemen. These students are inspirational, passionate, and impactful. All right, I'm told we are going to be starting our awards ceremony in just a minute. Are you all ready? Give these amazing students another round of applause. I'm always so impressed by their topics, their command of their subjects, and then the confidence with which they get on this stage and speak to all of us, oftentimes about stuff that goes over our heads. So, or at least I can speak for myself, it goes over my head, but they have done an amazing job and they continue to do so every year. Students, we are so grateful that you want to be a part of this public speaking contest because, as I mentioned earlier, you are building foundational skills that you'll be able to take with you no matter what you endeavor to do in your future. And whether or not you walk home with or walk away with the top prize or not, you are all winners. So we're very, very proud of you. We thank our judges again for your hard work, and boy, I would never want to be in your shoes because there's so many great speakers, and it's hard to say this one should win over that one, but that's why you were selected, because you were able to do that. We appreciate your participation today and your continued support. We want to say thank you to the Clinton Center again for hosting us, because this is a beautiful venue, and for many families, this may be the first time that they actually come to this facility. So we hope it won't be your last. We often take, unfortunately, gems and jewels in our own backyard for granted. I know when I go to other places, I'm always trying to go to museums, and of course, when family comes here, I will bring them to a museum, but they have wonderful exhibits here, and so I hope this will not, if it's your first time, I hope it will not be your last time coming. Also, I want to say thank you to the Vines and Morris households for making sure we keep this great tradition going. I remember when it started many, many years ago, we were at a church, then we were at the Art Center, we were at a couple of schools, we were at the Republican Party headquarters, and now we are here in the Clinton Center, and we are so thankful for the ability to be here and share this great space with all of you. I want to remind you that there are some other notes inside the program that we did not acknowledge formally when we arrived, but we ask that you take this time to acknowledge the notes from Ralph Fiennes, our namesake, as well as a note from Governor Sanders and a note from Senator John Bozeman. They were very kind to leave some nice words of reflection and some thoughts for us to consider. So, did you all have a fantastic time today? A Sunday afternoon, I can't think of a better way to do it in support of students, and I hope you feel the same way. And I'm guessing that you do because you're here and you stayed the whole time, and we're grateful for that. All of our contestants today will take home at least $50. So that's nice, isn't it, contestants? Nobody goes home empty-handed. And we are so grateful for our continued grand prize donors, the Rockefeller Foundation family, Winthrop P. Rockefeller, that family. They have loaned their name to the top prize as well as their finances. So each grand prize winner, not first, because first place is pretty significant too. I could do something with $750. I don't know about you. But the grand prize winners will have a female and a male will take home $1,500 today. And you're going to put it in a savings account, right, students? Yeah, right. No video games. I heard some of you talking about video games today. Are you all ready? All right, we're going to acknowledge all of our contestants, and as we mentioned, everyone will get a cash prize for their participation. Please help us acknowledge Willow Green from Gryphon. All right, we will make sure Willow gets her prize and her certificate. Shireen Chutery. Yes, I'm sorry, you can come on up. I should have said that. Mackenzie Enoch Noble. Loyal Williams. Nora Vauser. Angel Padilla. Sarah Ivory. Arnie Cineretti. Lennox Thomas. Ella Lou. Eva Foster. Ria Sandeep. Ayman Ali. Varika Randvishankar. Miss Katie Ann. Kanaya Williams. Payson Butler. Chase Field. Ayana Horton. Daniela Garcia. Kinsley Bagley. Christina Shelby. Important to get that money right. Lucy Lewis. Harita Kumarasan. Riley Spriggs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the big prizes. And my instructions. All right, winners, when you are, well, everybody's a winner, but top place finishers, when you're done, if you would go to one of the seats to my right in front, okay? You all ready? Yes. Okay, let's see what's at stake here. You saw it in the program, but I'm just going to remind you. $250 for third place, $500 for second place, $750 for first place, and of course the grand prize. How much? All right. Here we go. In third place, representing the 9 to 12-year-old group A. Thank you. Olivia Yu. Miss Jennifer, we need your help. Thank you. Come on up, Olivia. Proud parents, stand up. We're happy to have you here. Stand up. You know you're proud of your Okay, stand right there and look that way. They're going to take your picture. Congratulations. In second place, the 9 to 12-year-old category, Group A, Mackenzie Enoch Noble. All right, proud mamas here. In first place in this same category, 9 to 12, Group A, Shreya Choudhury. Congratulations. Now students, don't sit those envelopes down. They have legitimate cash prizes in there. There we go. Congratulations. We're proud parents. Congratulations. Now Group B, 9 to 12 years old. Third place, Ella Lou. Proud parents? All right. Congratulations. In In second place, same group B, Ria Sandeep. Congratulations. Where are Ria's parents? Thank you for being here. Congratulations. Ria, look that way real fast. Your dad was trying to get... Come back up here. Ria, get with Mr. Vines. There you go. Awesome. Thank you. In first place, Group B, 9 to 12, Sarah Ivory. Congratulations. Proud parents, where are you?
Right here.
Thank you for being here. Congratulations. We're moving on to the 13 to 15-year-old group now. In third place, Kinsley Bagley. Congratulations. Proud family, where are you? Over here. Thank you very much and congratulations. In second place, Ayana Horton. Turn your award around so they can see it. Congratulations, proud parents, family, where are you? Thank you for being here. Congratulations. And in first place, in the 13 to 15-year-old category, Daniela Garcia. Congratulations, proud family. Wave. Thank you for being here. Congratulations. All right, we are moving on to the final category of the day. This is the 16 to 19-year-old group. Harita Kumarasan. Congratulations, proud parents, family. Thank you for being here. In second place, Olivia Evett. Congratulations, proud family, where are you? Thank you, congratulations. And last but certainly not least, in first place in the 16 to 19-year-old category, get on with it, Riley Spriggs. Congratulations, proud family. Where are you in the room? Right here. Congratulations, very, very proud. We're proud of all of these students. Let's give them another round of applause. All right, we have a couple of categories that we are acknowledging. want the podium to get away from me. All right. Top male finisher, grand prize winner, Shrin. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forget. I apologize. We have our namesake, Mr. Rockefeller. Come on up here, Mr. Rockefeller. Please forgive me. Listen, this is the important person of the hour. We definitely need to acknowledge him and his wonderful family for making our grand prize happen every year. And it used to just be one grand prize, and we have expanded it to 2, so this is wonderful. The Grand Place Prize recipient for this year is Shrin Choudhury. They're taking home some cash today, aren't they? And of course, now it's time to announce the top female, Riley Spriggs. Rockefeller to have some final comments or remarks before we dismiss for the day. Please welcome him with a very hearty round of applause.
Thank you all very much for having us up today. My daddy entered me into one of these when I was a kid, and I wasn't very good at it, and I don't think I've gotten any better since, so I don't know why they keep asking me to speak up here. I was watching all the moving parts that went into making this happen today, and I was sitting there thinking about it. You know, Miss Addie, Ralph, all the crew, all the parents, get all your speakers here, and of course all the staff here at the Clinton Library that worked so hard on the weekend getting this prepared for us. And it got me thinking about something. My daddy was a politician, and a pretty good one, from a time when people still worked together to get things done and reached across the aisle when they had problems. And you know, when I started judging this 15 years ago, I think, we were meeting in the facilities out at the RPA headquarters, and we'd cram into a room about the size of this stage, and maybe we had 15 contestants in there. But we listened to speeches just like all of y'all's, you know, people that, kids that got together and spoke about their passions and all their problems, and, you know, sometimes what they perceived as solutions. And it's crazy, I've seen some of those kids grow up, and now some of them work in business and in politics, and some of them are just out in their communities every day trying to fix what they see as issues. And gosh, sorry, I'm telling y'all I'm terrible at this. And I see that every year. I see it, you know, every single year I see these kids get up and talk about the things that matter to them. And it never fails to thrill me, because y'all are the generation that carry us into the future. So I hope that y'all remember today, and y'all remember, you know, when you come together and you get together and you talk, great things really do happen. I won't keep y'all any longer. I'm really proud of this event, how far it's come, and each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for having me, and thank you for the opportunity to support this.
Well, what a tremendous afternoon this has been. Did you enjoy yourselves? Another round of applause for our amazing contestants. Parents, we need to take a few photos before you all exit and make make sure your students have their envelopes. That's most important. Thank you again to the judges. Yes, we're doing group pictures, and I guess I don't know if you need any additional individual photos, but all right, if there is nothing further, we are officially dismissed. Thank you so much for being here. We look forward to seeing you next year.